BitShares is a world-class blockchain like Bitcoin with a digital currency platform boasting enterprise-level scalability and throughput with separations of power and self-governance baked in. Need the power of a blockchain with the stability of a dollar? We invented it and tested it for 3 years. Want to make a loyalty token, coupon, or shares in your business? We have you covered. Wish to add world-class development? This tech can fund your work. Whether for an everyday entrepreneur or computer-savvy code guru, BitShares provides tools to empower a world of unapologetic innovators to wield and share value with a level of freedom once thought impossible. Meet a community of such innovators every Friday at 2 p.m. UTC, led by Chris Herring and Fuzzy, to play a role in the evolution and advancement of this state-of-the-art project. Welcome to the BitShares revolution. You just leveled up.
Hello everybody, here's another BitShares Hangout. It's now episode 14 with Chris 4210 and Fuzzy with the core members of the BitShares community. And today we want to talk about a couple of new amazing updates. I was looking around what is happening, and I really have to say BitShares is growing faster than ever. It's pretty amazing what is happening, and we would like to follow up with the first information. If you looked into the new website the last couple of days, you could see that we now support a so-called BitShares account login. So this is a new feature that allows you to log into your BitShares account basically from anywhere. So in the past, when you created an account, the wallet was stored on your computer, but now it is basically stored in a different way, and now you can just like you go to Poloniex or Kraken or any other account, you just type in your user account, your password, and you're in. I think that is pretty amazing, and I would like to talk about that a little bit in the next couple of minutes. Also, good news, Kraken added US dollar tether support, at least for Europe. I don't know if it's also available for the US, but what does it mean? That means now, with the USD tether support by Kraken, you can move more or less seamlessly with US dollar into the BitShares platform, because we have a very strong support of tether USD to BitUSD thanks to the Chinese community. And that means now you can just go from dollar to tether dollar to BitUS dollar. So that is pretty cool, and I'm excited to discuss the new opportunities here to move smoothly into the BitShares platform. Then we also, at the end, we're going to have a little discussion from Custom Miner. I hope he's joining us today. He has a proposal about a BitShares testnet load generator, and I'm very curious what he has to propose, because of course we are always looking for the next version of the next round of the stress test, and to say hey, you know what, how can we really generate a lot of stress? Because what we realized is that the blockchain is running totally fine. We were able to basically manage all the throughput. The only problem we had is we couldn't generate enough throughput. So that was a problem, and I look forward that Custom Miner can help us here a little bit. But before we go too deep into all the topics, let's get started with the first BitShares login. What do you think? What is your feedback? Do you like the new style, how you can use the BitShares platform?
I'm just going to say Polo.
I think it's great we have these options.
I think anybody who's used to using Poloniex is going to be very comfortable using the wallet. It's going to be a very small change in terms of of the user's use case. How they're going to accomplish things is very similar. It's almost like it was modeled after Polo without the lag.
Polo is lagging a lot right now, right?
Oh my God, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
I think that's going to be way more easier now. But I think the topic is, as far as I understand it, you can only log into one account. So if you have several accounts, then you have to separately log in, correct?
Into multiple accounts. Yeah, you can put multiple accounts on the same wallet. But of course, you would have. I would assume that would be the best way to do it. We would have to make sure, but maybe somebody here who's actually been digging into the code would be able to give us a little bit more information on it.
Because I mean, like in the current version, you store the wallet, and in the wallet file, in the wallet bin file, you have all the different accounts sitting inside with the public and private keys, and then you basically just open up the wallet, and then you can control several accounts. But in that new login style, you only can access one account and one private key, basically, to do something.
Oh, maybe that's something that they need to fix. For some reason, I seem to remember SVK saying something about it, but I might be misremembering. So I don't want to say for 100% certain.
Yeah. Well, and one important topic that Johnny Bitcoin is bringing up, and that is also a big warning sign. If you use the new login type, you are affected basically that you can be hacked by brute forcing. So you can basically have a computer program who's trying to guess your password in a long time. But I think we could limit that if we add like a time limit inside. Yeah. So if you type in your password 3 times wrong, you have to wait 2 minutes. If you type in 10 times wrong, you have to wait a day. Yeah. Something like that. I think in this way you can limit the brute forcing vector.
I really like how the various levels of options exist for various. Like in Steam, you have the voting key, the active key, and the master key. I like that idea and the ability to actually store something away in a savings account. So even if it's hacked, you have like 3 days to fix it. I think those things could mitigate a lot of that as well.
Well, it's a different thing, Fuzzy, because I think what Chris was saying is an excellent feature, and if that's not included, which it probably isn't yet, it certainly would be a great thing to put in there. There's a program that we use on. There's a program we use on the Unix systems for witnesses and etc. called Fail to Ban, and what it does is it basically looks for intrusions in the log files, and then it basically will put delays in the will ban that IP address, of course, but it actually will put delays in the pathway too, like Chris was just saying. That's a good technique, and we ought to implement that.
Yeah, I agree. To me, it just makes sense. I thought that it was already like that, but maybe I'm wrong. I do remember somebody having problems with importing a wallet, but I don't know if it had anything to do with the change of the
I think that is a different story, but basically this is, for example, how Apple is protecting their iPhones. So you have a couple of tries, and if you try too often, then the phone is broken. And this was also one of the ways why the NSA couldn't brute force the password, because of that elliptical curve. The more you try, the harder it gets. But Johnny Bitcoin is mentioning that you could basically brute force the password offline. How would that work?
I guess it would just be holding the blockchain offline at a certain point, right?
I missed your question, Chris. What was that again?
He said Johnny Bitcoin said you can brute force offline, and he was asking how that's done.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks to the new alternative login procedure is that you have accessibility. You can actually hammer onto a wallet because it's available all the time. Whereas if it's in your browser and your machine is not online, then even if it's just in your browser, you don't have. Nobody in the world has accessibility to that like they would if it's just a matter of logging in a password the way we have. That's just one of the trade-offs. That's why I like the fact that we have both the old way and the new way, because people that want the convenience sacrifice a little bit of security, have that. People that want to stick with the existing model, which is a little more secure, have that. So I think it's great that we have these choices.
Well, you can combine it basically. I mean, like you could use it for like a day-to-day account that you just log in, and then you can make your regular payments. And if you want to say like, hey, I want to have like a savings account, then I just use that, and I have that on my computer, and only I can go in with my regular password. I think overall it's a cool new development, and it is cool that it's also now available. That what we learned from Steam, and now that it's also in BitShares, and I see a lot of growth potential here, because I mean, like, we have new users coming in, more liquidity, and now also easier functions. And that was always a concern with a lot of people. They didn't know how to log into their account or how to unlock their account, and I think that is solving that problem, because now they have an easy login, and then they can manage their funds. I would like to move to the next topic, and that was I got the mail yesterday, 2 days ago, that Kraken is going to add the option to buy USD Tether directly. So what do you guys think about that?
Why does that matter to us?
Well, it matters because it's quite difficult to transfer US dollar or in general money to the BitShares platform. But I know that with joining Bitcoin and BitCrab, there's a very tight bridge between OpenBit Tether and BitUSD. So when you easily can now move USD to BitTether, then to open USD Tether, then to BitUSD, then you just pay more or less a small fee that you can calculate because it's always USD. But in that way, you can easily move into USD, and you don't have to use USD Bitcoin, BitShares, BitUSD.
So basically what you're saying is there's basically a gateway through this Kraken exchange that allows you to get into BitUSD much easier from a bank account or some external source.
Yes, especially for American clients. I mean, I think it's still very difficult because there's no American gateway, especially not for BitShares. So you have to go either to OpenLedger and then you have to wire money to OpenLedger, or you have to buy Bitcoin, then BitShares, and then get in.
Sounds like it ought to be a positive benefit for people that want that connectivity to the bank account. But it does seem like there's still a number of hoops that you have to jump through. I mean, it probably helps some, but it seems to me that many people may not want to jump through two different exchanges, the exchange you just mentioned, and then go to the DEX to do anything with the BitUSD on the DEX. It's just hard to say. I'm not a trader, so not much of a trader, so I really can't comment very much on it.
Yeah, it is definitely a long way to go, but you don't have the volatility risk. You just have you can calculate basically the fees to get in and out, so that can be quite helpful.
Okay, I'll just say this. What I'm learning from very small day trading, okay, I'm not an idiot, because I know that I can lose it as fast as I make it. But it's nice to have Tether or something that is ridiculously close while you're trading something like market pegged assets or anything, because we need the liquidity to get down to that level where Tether is as far as the closeness and the tightness of the peg, and that kind of helps bootstrap this if people use it. Because a lot of people, especially once you watched Bitcoin go down, what did everybody do? They all started piling into we went from 1250, maybe a little bit higher, back down to about 1,000. People started piling into altcoins, right? So we have a lot of things that are changing, and having some of your tokens in BitUSD and getting in and out with something like Tether that's faster than a bank account is a nice way a nice option. I think it's better than bank account for people who are crypto savvy. Yeah, it went down to 900. You're right. I think it's great news.
And that's for sure, yeah, because you can send it around. Johnny Bitcoin is also mentioning that's something that you need to consider when you're moving US dollar to your BitUS dollar account here on BitShares, that the fees have been increased for OpenUSD Tether. So it's now 0.2% for, I think, trading. But also the nice thing is with USD Tether is that you can send it between different exchanges. So if you want to settle a deal, or if you want to rebalance your accounts and you don't want to go through the risk of using Bitcoin, then that is also a good way how to do it today.
Now, with regard to this USD Tether, I was looking in the comments section. See, John Bitcoin commented that Dan Osteen has raised the fee from selling and trading open USDT. Is that something that has come as a result of this other gateway, or is this just something he did independently? But it does beg the question as to why he increased those fees.
Well, it's a 10-time increase. I'm not really sure why that is. It just maybe because there was so much trading in the last time. What G-Chicken is mentioning, it's because the standard fee for open ledger assets is 0.2%. That's why it has been increased. Or maybe it was just a mistake with the old fee. Yeah, I think that's definitely good news. It's gonna open up a lot of more channels how to get liquidity into the market. Also makes it quite interesting for shorters to generate and provide more liquidity and to create more US dollar in the market. Another good news I would like to mention: we have 2 new committee members that you can vote for and that are also voted in. The first member I would like to welcome in the committee is Faf. Faf is an old member of the BitShares community. He's a very active in the Telegram channels. He's also taking care of the official BitShares account, and he is constantly blogging about what is new in BitShares, contacting new people, and I'm very happy that he's joining the committee. As a second new member, we have also Ronnie Wösing. He is the CEO of OpenLedger, and he's a long member as well of the BitShares community. And thanks to him, we have basically the first big exchange, the OpenLedger exchange, and now we are seeing more and more exchanges coming with us with the BitShares 2.0 platform. So I'm very happy that he also now decided to join the committee and to help us to lead the BitShares community in the right directions. And if you didn't vote it yet, please go to the voting part. Yeah, go to your account, get informed how you can vote, choose the best committee members you would like to support, and please vote. This is very important that you are very active here and you always take care that when you see something you like, then you vote it, and if you see something you don't like, then you can remove your vote, and in this way you can always voice your concerns, but also your support. And I think that is a good thing in the BitShares community, that whatever happens, you really get started and you can take part in this democratic process here. So I'm very happy that we have more active members, and I'm looking forward to discuss a couple of things with the committee in the next couple of weeks. Data security note brought up that we should revisit the feed schedule. I think we talked about that last week already. That is a longer process that we're going to take a look at, and I'm always open for feedback. If you say there's a fee you think it's too high or you think the fee is too low, I'm always happy to discuss that and see what we can do here. To move forward, Custom Miner, are you able to speak? Are you here already? Is Custom Miner here?
Because of the time differences.
He was still out. So let's give him another 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's really weird. Is anybody else having a time problem?
Well,
I don't know what else to call it.
It's a move of daytime saving times, something.
Yes, we had daylight savings time lately, and it kind of messed up some people, I'm sure.
I think the issue is that the posting listed 2 times, and one of them in UTC, but the UTC time is incorrect.
The UTC, but for me, UTC is a London time, right? So for me, it's London 2 o'clock. That's when we started.
I can tell you a little bit about what I did yesterday, and that was presenting the BitShares to the Russian community.
Oh yes, please tell us.
So yesterday there was this little meetup. I think it was around maybe 100 people, less than 100 people, maybe like 70. That would be probably more realistic. That was about arbitrage and computer learning techniques for using robots, trading bots. And I was one of the 4 speakers there. And as you probably know, we are working on creating a Russian version of DEX, so Russian people could use BitShares comfortably. And people were amazed by some things that I showed them, because BitShares is more than just a trading platform. There's also well, you all know the details, the instant transfers, the smart coins wallet, the BlockPay app, stuff like that, and the DEX itself. So, and the people were like, well, how come we never heard about this before? And the problem, and I told them, yeah, that's one of the problems of the BitShares, that it had absolutely zero marketing, and well, See what I'm doing here. I'm, kind of showing you that this exists. And after the presentation, I was swamped by people wanting to know a bit more, and I had to explain the our margin mechanism, and because it's a little untraditional. People were asking like, yeah, I can borrow funds like on Poloniex, and I'm like, nah, it doesn't work like that. So in the coming, I don't know, weeks, months, you can, and we are expecting a influx of Russian people, and probably more liquidity. And what we really need, there's a huge call for revival of BitRuble, and that requires a hard fork. So that's something I would like to know when that's coming. That's something that we really need to, have an ETA. If it's in months, in 2 months, wherever, it's okay. But we really need to.
Yeah, we have a couple of different assets that blacks want, and I think it would be good if you have like a list to say like, okay, we have the Gridcoin AMPA, we have the BitRuble. I think we have one or two other markets who also are affected, and then we have to move forward with a hard fork and reset these markets. I think that is a idea. We just have to coordinate. Right now, as far as I know, we don't have a timeline yet for the next hard fork. BitShares hasn't been hard forked for quite a while, but it is quite easy to do with our platform. So this is the good thing. It's not like a big debate. But I think it would be definitely good if you could have a list of that.
Yeah, all the there's an issue on GitHub with the list for well, there are different issues for different assets, but Xerox asked to move them into I think this one link by I have Fury, like issue 216. I think that's the one where that has hard fork tag, and so all of those assets have to be listed there.
Okay, well then we already have an issue number. That is very good. Process to reset a smart coin after a black swan event. Issue 216. So we have a couple of suggestions here, a couple of comments. I think that would be a good place to say like, okay, we want to reset this in that market, and then we can go through that over the next time. Good. And what kind of event was it? That was basically an event about 4 traders who are trading digital currencies, and they're looking into what is the best trading bot.
They were talking about arbitrage opportunities for Bitcoin and other altcoins, and then there were also there was this girl who is writing trading bots for Moscow exchange, and the fourth was us talking about BitShares, and that we have arbitrage opportunities with Tether and BitUSD. I told them, and also BTS bots, and also the Python bot by Xerox, and that
Stake machine,
and that we have very robust libraries for stuff like that. So if they are programmers, a lot of people who are writing bots, they were like, please tell me more. And we had like influx, maybe like 10, 15 people to the Russian BitShares DEX channel. We will start translating documentation as soon as we launch the DEX, the Russian DEX, but we have no idea when that's happening. Another thing that's cool is that we, with launching the DEX, we have a big community of people who are doing the testing, and we're writing down all the bugs, and a lot of them are translation bugs, and then that we're going to fix ourselves. That's easy, but some of them are for the upstream to fix, and we will create issues and stuff like that.
Oh, that's pretty good. I think that's going to be exciting to see. The Russian exchange. So you're going to have your own gateway into the BitShares platform, right? So you're just going to take the current design and translate it into Russian, and then host it on your own server.
Yeah, that's what we are doing. I think that BitCapital guys inspired us for to proceed like that.
No, that's pretty cool.
I have one question.
Sure.
A question about if you happen to know, this is following up on a question that Fox has posted in terms of if you happen to know any kind of BitRuble holders from the past, what would be acceptable for them regarding a reset? Would it be? I imagine some options would be just considered a complete loss, and so that can be wiped out, or is there some other variation on that?
I have absolutely no idea about BitRuble holders, so I don't know what would be good for them.
Well, it's two guys, and the balance is below 1 cent. So for this market, I think that's quite easy because that market died pretty early. But it's an interesting question for other markets, like, for example, the Gridcoin, where you have more members.
Right. So that could also be relatedly, if there are any Gridcoin people here, I don't know, that would be a question for them as well.
What's the question?
Yeah, could you repeat the question, please?
For past holders of the Gridcoin, I guess, I'm not sure of the token name. Since it did Black Swan, the question for those holders is, what do they think would be a fair way to reset that market? Could it be nullified down to 0? Would that be acceptable? Or would they like some other, some other amount?
I mean, there's not that much Gridcoin. It's not the open.grc, it's the full caps Gridcoin that's the market pegged asset, which is in the Black Swan state. I don't think there's more than like 3,000 Gridcoin on there, but because Gridcoin itself is quite volatile, it's going to reoccur, so something that wouldn't involve the complete wipeout of assets that are on there would be pretty awesome. Like, if we were able to just like lock it in, if you bought it at a certain price, like, and backed it at a certain amount, if it fluctuated really high, if you could like unlock it when it went back down, maybe that'd be a bit better than completely just wiping it off. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, we're currently in a Black Swan state too.
Okay, I'll have to think that over.
Well, isn't that when you want to restart the market, that everybody has to first settle and close their positions? So basically destroy all BitRuble, and then you can restart?
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about, is when you unwind it.
That seems reasonable.
To me, I think it would be BitShares that would be paying the price, though, to help unwind it, or taking the hit on it. Which, honestly, since bit assets, I think, are like one of our crowning features, maybe it's worth it to put some money into, helping to back bit assets via like a worker proposal or something.
Perhaps. So if we could just, that's an interesting point. Can we just delay that point for just a moment? If somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, since those two bit assets did Black Swan, am I correct to say that they don't exist at the moment? There are none in existence?
I know they're still issued. Like, people still have the Gridcoin token in their wallets. It's pretty much, you can't do much with it at the moment. Yeah.
They call that unwinding. Okay. Like, that's why I said unwound. It's like whenever you are in this deal, it's kind of saying, okay, we're going to settle it right here where the price is. We're going to buy back the tokens from you or something like that. So everybody's good. The Black Swan is kind of fixed. The people are paid back, but it would probably be the network that would have to do that, because otherwise it would be somebody else coming in. And, do you see what I'm saying? Like,
yes, kind of. I'll have to think that further.
Yeah, it's some deep stuff to have currency prediction markets. Sorry, Chris.
No problem, no problem. I'm just thinking about what are the requirements. I was reading in the developer chat room that there are ideas, because I think T-Bone was also mentioning that, if there are ways how to reset a black swan market, even if you don't need a hard fork for that. So this is a question. If that would be possible, but who would have control, and how could you basically reset the market? So you don't want that somebody is resetting US dollar market or something.
I suspect that would be a committee decision or something like that.
Yeah, but that could be still the community could be compromised. That's too dangerous, because committee just needs 51. So if you have a very strong committee members, or 2 or 3, and they are plotting to destroy a full, multi-million BitUSD dollar market, that is a high risk. I don't like that idea.
Oh, well, then doing it via hard fork would probably be a better idea.
Yes, I mean, with a hard fork, and Chris, I appreciate your concern as well. I think the question then in terms of security is also to consider that approach. With the hard fork, you have some coders who implement the change, and then the current witnesses, perhaps, who agree to deploy that change.
Yeah, it adds an extra layer of security, because more people have to look on it, and you cannot do that in a rouge or stealth mode at night.
Yeah. So if that's considered more secure, that seems better.
Because there's also an interesting feature, but I'm not 100% sure how that works. But if there's, for example, a committee change proposal, so for example, if you want to change the vote, let's say I want to change the fees of the platform, then the committee can vote on it, and then there is a lock time of, 2-3 hours or something, where the community basically can remove their support of the voted committee members, and when the committee is losing so much support, then the proposal will not go through, because the overall vote for the proposal is not high enough. It's not reaching 51. So in this way, the community could, in the worst case, still block a change that already has been approved by committee. Is that correct?
Also, you could probably, change the rules. So resetting the market would require having it in black swan state first, and then having more percent of the committee members voting yes. I mean, it already requires a hard fork. If it is something that would be changed into something that could be done without having a hard fork, you could instantiate any kind of rules that you and the community deem acceptable. I mean, we have to talk this out, we have to think this out, and then we have to implement that. And next hard fork or hard fork after that, and it becomes easier, but still secure. That's the idea, I think.
I think that is also a good topic. So that would be something nice to move forward and to discuss in the next time. Customer, I would like to get started with your flooding ideas. How could we increase more input for the next stress test?
Yeah, cool. So I'll just introduce myself. I'm Custom Miner from the Gridcoin community. I've been a BTS holder since BTSX. So I was listening to the last Hangout, 13. You guys were talking about one of the potential causes of we only got like 3,000 transactions a second. One of the potential causes was the lack of computing power available. Within the team Gridcoin alone, we have 100,000 hosts, and we're only 0.5% of the total BOINC community. So there's a huge amount of computing power, disposable within the BOINC community.
So you really want to kill us with the BOINC network?
Well, yeah, the idea is really if we could distribute the load generation software out to 1,000 people or 10,000 people, then in effect it is a wee bit of a DDoS. But that's the point of a stress test. If we push it to the absolute max, and fork out for cloud services for the witness nodes, then if we were able to get a huge number, 1 million in a single block, then that would be huge news that would, maybe propel us to higher values. You know what I'm saying?
And that's actually one of the questions that people ask, how do you protect from DDoS and stuff like that? So having an answer for that is absolutely good idea.
Yeah, so I've got a few ideas with regards to BOINC and BitShares. So the problem with the load generation, it's a kind of bursty kind of tasks. So the Gridcoin network really looks to reward like continuous work, right? So alternative projects that could be used for BitShares would be like rewarding full nodes. Like imagine you were to distribute out the a full node server to 1,000 people, and then reward them for the resources they use to host it. That we could totally reward with Gridcoin. Another thing you could do is you could do like witness experiments. Like I know when we switched from BTS X to BTS 2.0, we switched from like 101 witnesses to 25 based off like some tests. Like we could experiment with larger numbers of witnesses, just proof of concepts for dialing in the perfect quantity of witnesses. These are other ideas. What do you guys think?
You know where I stand.
I think we should definitely test that, and we should think about that when we are doing the next stress test, because it was really a bottleneck in the volume we could generate, and if we have more computation power from a broader network, then I think that would be pretty good.
Excellent. So I've posted exactly how I think we could go about doing it in the RSVP thread. Basically, it would take a little bit of extra work to get the load generator going, because you'd have to distribute out like a Docker container containing the Python dependencies, the BitShares client in testnet mode, the load generation software, and some form of communicating back with the BOINC project admin, right? So that he could, distribute out the testnet BitShares tokens, and then, issue the command to, begin bombarding the network and to stop, obviously.
Do you know people, out of curiosity, who could help with this if we had a worker proposal set up for it?
Well, I mean, the BOINC community is pretty big. I'm pretty sure you could probably put feelers out in the BOINC developer mailing lists and get contractors through that way. But in terms of running a BOINC project, using the BOINC server Docker, you fire up the Docker container, and it's just a matter of customizing the looks and some security fields, and it's a working BOINC project. Then it's just a matter of creating a Docker container that you have all your what we were talking about, the testnet BitShares load generation kind of package in a Docker container. We distribute out the Docker container and that runs on a few thousand computers. But I could definitely help out with looking for people, putting feelers out in the BOINC community if you guys were to put a worker proposal out for this.
You mentioned here basically that you need to pay for some things. How would that look like? Do we need to pay the BOINC network for providing the computation power? How does it work?
BOINC operates as a volunteer computer grid, right? So the vast majority of BOINC users do it entirely for free. Gridcoin only rewards 0.5% of the BOINC community, so we've not even managed to reach out to the entire community. So if users were interested, they'd likely do it entirely for free, which is pretty awesome. But what you can do is you can edit the BOINC server itself is based in PHP. So all you need to do is edit the profile page and even lineup page. So you would put in your BitShares testnet and BitShares production network account names in there, and then you could proportionally reward your workers or volunteers for the work that they do through the project. So you could issue an user issued asset and distribute it out to anyone. But then if you were to make these, if you were to make each user's BitShares account and associated BOINC identity, just their user ID, public, in downloadable XML, then anyone in the BitShares community could issue a user issued asset, based on the work that they do for you. So it's the idea of Project Rain.
I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of taking a different look at share drop theory.
I just wanted to add one thing. There is just the idea is good, but there's just a possibility that right now the congestion is not on the transaction generation side. So if the idea would be to have the BOINC nodes doing transaction generation, it's possible that it might not achieve the high throughput yet because possibly the problem is not there at the moment.
Okay, cool. I mean, this is just one of several ideas of how the BitShares community could use the BOINC platform. If it turns out that transaction generation isn't the cause, then we could still look at rewarding full nodes or API nodes, for like their resources and bandwidth, and also like testing witness experiments, or even doing something crazy like machine learning on the data, like transactions that are going over like the BitShares network, the DEX.
From a gamification perspective, it's always better to be able to give people two things instead of one. You can kind of understand that as far as marketing goes, right? Everybody sees 2 for 1, right? It's because it's such a damn powerful marketing technique. So I'm a very big proponent of anything that we can allow people to earn multiple tokens at the same time. So you've had me on this for a while. I don't know how many people who listen know that, but I think this is a great conversation for us to have, though.
Yeah, definitely. I don't look at it as like only wanting to earn 1 token per project. It's you do the work for, say, this BitShares Boink project, and you're not earning 1 token. You're potentially earning like 20 different tokens. For different projects. If say someone's doing like, an ICO, perhaps they do like 5%, they distribute out based on like work completed, I don't know, stuff like that. There's loads of ideas out there. There's a brainstorming thread on Steemit where everyone's welcome to throw out ideas. You don't have to have the capabilities of implementing them. We'll talk them out, perhaps someone will come along and be like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, cheers for listening to my proposal, guys.
I'll just leave it with this. Merged mining is like cocaine to miners. It always has been. It really always has. To be able to mine, for instance, Namecoin and Bitcoin together, it's amazing. I think that idea is something we should very much think about, especially considering we've got a UIA market that could use a lot of liquidity.
Definitely.
Coming back to the one topic, I still didn't really got a good answer yet about the protection against basically a DDoS attack. I mean, like we are trying to break the testnet, right? So I think it's not really a real attack. But if you have a DDoS on one of the witnesses, I mean, like, yes, I think you can shut down one of the different witnesses with a huge attack, but then you have all the other backup witnesses who jump in. So in this way, we are pretty good protected.
Yeah, definitely. That would be another angle in terms of attack.
Well, there's one thing that I think we would like really to push forward a little bit from BitShares Munich, and that is the idea of a pin test, I think is the name. I'm not so familiar with that, but basically the idea is that we are going to get a couple of really nice people, and they will basically pick all the top witnesses in the BitShares blockchain, and they're just gonna create a stress test on the witnesses, and it's more like a little play tete-a-tete between system administrators and try to get hacked. I think that would be an interesting experiment to see if our witnesses are protected and where are their weak points, and if we have a couple of good guys who know how to hack, I think it would be quite an interesting project to really say okay, we tried it, it didn't work, our witnesses are very safe, also our system administrators who are running the witnesses are top notch. What do you think about this pen test?
I love it because there are many different angles and different layers to attack, so yeah.
I know in the military they have precisely these types of war games, is really what they call them. And they'll take 2 different opposing sides, one that's trying to secure the network, the other that's trying to break in. I think it's something that if people do it for the security of countries, it's not a bad strategy for us.
Well, what I really liked during the stress test was that we had a live stream, so we could basically see, how that all looks like, and you see the chart, and you see the CLI wallets, and how they're generating the transactions. So I think that was pretty good from a non-technical perspective. But I think that would be something we really have to also start working on, because when we are growing, and we are handling more and more money. And if we are also putting up, the huge messages about, hey, we are so fast and we have the super cool fast network, I think it would be also cool to have another message, as you said already, Fuzzy. Yes, please try to hack us and see if you get in.
But preferably attack the testnet.
Yes, could be the testnet, but it's more like the witnesses itself, the current ones. I mean, like people who are participating in the testnet. Some of them are witnesses or active witnesses. Some are not. Yeah, and we increased the witness pay, and a little bit happened, but not so much. And I think we need to pay more attention to our witnesses who are securing the network.
One thing, Chris, is we need to give it a little bit more time. I was actually just corresponding with somebody else about what I've been doing in the witness arena for since I got back from Acapulco. I'm finding there's a lot more traffic on the network, and although I've upgraded all of my nodes, I'm going to have to do it again. That's how much the traffic is increasing. So I'm pouring out a lot more money in VPS fees because I've gone from 2 gigabytes, which was bare minimum for seed nodes, 4 gigabytes for a witness. I'm going to have to go up to 16 gigabytes, I'm afraid, to provide a good margin of error for the witness node and the backup. That's a dramatic increase in cost, too.
What is the difference in cost?
Well, I don't have those figures directly in front of me, but every time you go up from 4 to 8, 16, it doubles. The primary witness that I'm using that costs the others that it might be cheaper, they don't maybe double, but they're darn close to it. So since returning from Acapulco, my fees have gone up 4 times because of these upgrades that I'm doing. And with running, 1 witness node and 3 seed nodes, the seed nodes function as backups as necessary. That's a lot of overhead for me, but it's still within the pay that we're getting now, especially with the increase. So I'm not complaining. I'm just simply informing you that we need to give some time to these changes because since returning from Acapulco about roughly a month ago, 3 weeks to a month ago, things have changed dramatically, and I'm seeing a lot more traffic on the net.
Well, this is just, I hear a lot of good news. I'm very happy about that. And it's also good feedback, I think, from an active witness. It would help us if you also, do you have like an active witness forum thread so that people can vote for you?
Yeah, I have one that as soon as I get these upgrades done, I'm planning to post that report so that people will know what's been going on. I've posted one report since I got back for the first series of upgrades, but what I just told you needs to be put into another report, and once I complete these upgrades, I will be doing that.
That would be very good because, voting is very important, and to collect votes is the number one goal of everybody who's participating. And also for every worker proposal, for every committee proposal you set up, also witness proposals, please always think about that. You make it very clear where people can vote and how they can vote and what is the name, because that helps everybody, that helps the whole network, and this way we can easily identify active people. And we can basically weed out the people who are not so active, and that will help all of us.
I agree. I think reporting the way Ken Code does with his updates is very good, and so I would like to encourage any other witnesses out there that that haven't made a report do so, because voting campaign is something we kind of got away from. And I think we need to return to that because I think, like you said, Chris, it's extremely important to keep everybody informed of what you're doing.
We're in a direction. I'll tell you a little bit more about that stuff.
Before we are ending this session, Fuzzy, do you want to tell us a little bit about your latest project with the bot, with the voting bot, tip bot?
Actually, yeah, the share bits. We actually have it running on PHP BB forums. Not all of it's running, but we're about probably halfway there in the functionality. We have the front end user interface. First version of it is out. We're connecting it up essentially to the back end right now. And this brings a question to me, for me to ask you, Chris, which is, have you heard any updates on the forums for the BitShares?
Not right now, not yet. There's some problems with Ronald to get in contact with him, but I'm sitting with Xerox and we are brainstorming what we can do with the foundation, how we can move forward, and how we can basically collect funding for the foundation, for the BitShares Foundation, so that it can basically, maybe start taking activities and host the forum for us. I'm looking into that, but I don't really have an answer yet.
Okay, well, the reason I'm asking is because we're going to have Beyond Bitcoin forums where ShareBits is going to be tied into. It's going to be PHP, UBB. Just because it's got so many gamers and gaming communities who have worked on it for so long.
So what kind of form software will you use?
PHPBB, and
so that's the same as we use right now. No, we use machine form, right?
Yeah,
machine form too.
Yeah, simple machine forms, SMF, and the bot's going to be made so it works on other forums, of course. And I was kind of curious where people in BitShares, where all of us stood, where everybody stood on plugging it into the BitShares forums here and now or later, and if you guys were interested in that, because we had it almost ready for the BitShares forums, as you guys probably noticed a while back. But the forums are changing, so I don't know what to do. But I don't know that I'll probably have to pay more to add it to the BitShares forums. So I would ask
how different is Discourse and the forum you're working on?
It'll be able to be plugged into Discourse as well, but I will probably have to pay extra money out of pocket to do that. So my question is kind of if people would like that, if they would support a worker proposal to pay for it to be integrated. I don't mind if it's not or if it is. I just want to let people know that, it'll be there, because that was kind of the original intent. But having it set up for these forums and then or partial almost set up for these forums, and now we're changing them. I just kind of want to get so we know, so I know where everything is on that front. And it sounds to me like you guys are going to have to get creative. Maybe you're having difficulty getting a hold of him, so it doesn't keep us from changing forums, though, I guess, right?
Well, the topic with the forum is that we didn't decide it yet where to host it and who has access to the hosting service and who's managing basically the hosting. Right now it is hosted by one of the community members. And the idea, basically, or the wish is that we decentralize it a little bit further and make it more secure and get it controlled by the community.
Well, the only reason I bring it up is because I want to make sure that you guys know that it's going to be there. But I'm going to be honest with you. I probably won't pay any more out of pocket to add it on my own. But I would be very open to allowing the community to kind of, vote in a work proposal to have it added on by somebody. Because I would love for you guys to use it. It wouldn't be expensive. I wouldn't think that we would charge a lot. But I want to kind of give the developers who are helping me some work too, because as a thank you. And I think it would be a very helpful thing if people would be willing to support a worker on that, probably for like $3,000, something like that. And we can look into it if you guys are interested.
I think it sounds absolutely interesting, because I remember the old days when we were giving out fist bumps and all the other tokens in the forum. That was amazing. So I'm totally supporting this worker, and I think we should get started as soon as we have the forum moved, and then we can get started with the worker, and then we can fund everything and kick that off.
I miss it too, man. Well, that's the natural progression. It started out with joke tokens, and then what happens is you would have seen that people would create more and more intricate tokens. They would get into it. It would become like a big thing. That's what I suspect. It's just been a hard climb up that mountain, baby. But we're getting there now, and I got some screenshots to prove it. So
perfect. Sounds absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to that, because I miss the time when we always had to fill in our names and then we had to share it, and then we got the share drop of tokens and stuff. I think that is pretty cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have captchas, of course. Now we're gonna add them, because that's.
There's one good question here from Johnny Bitcoin I would like to answer, because that's also part of my job and my task. It is about the BitShares.org rebuild. I'm currently stuck on that one. I took that job over a while ago to organize it. And I created a new design, and I wrote most of the text. And I would say it's in a good condition, but right now I'm really busy, so I have no really time to follow it up. Although what I think would be a good opportunity, maybe we have to see what is the topic of the consensus of the community. We had Ether Design, who is a member in the Telegram channel, who was partly redesigning the BitShares decks. And he was also offering that he would redesign the BitShares.org website, and he would work on that. I sent him already all the material, the text, the graphics that I have. The only thing is that he is charging us, I think, up to $4,000 or $5,000. And since the redesign of the BitShares.org was a private project for me, I don't have right now $5,000 to finance a new website. So here is the opportunity for a worker. I think Johnny Bitcoin mentioned that also in the forum, that we should do a worker for that. The idea basically is to hire Ether Design to redesign the website, give it a good design, and finance the project with a worker proposal, and collect the community votes, and then we can move forward here. I think I see one more thing, and I'm very happy if we could get some support here. That is, we need to improve the text. We have a current text for the website. We also have a website structure, but we need to finalize the text, and we need to move forward here. So I would be very happy if we have somebody who could help me to do that, so that we can get that kicked off, and then I can also prepare a worker proposal for that. Then we can collect the money, we can pay him on time, and then we can move forward here as well.
That sounds great. Yep.
I think
Hear,
that
hear.
will also reflect basically the current improvement of the BitShares platform.
I'll tip my Muggo Ale for that one.
All right. Could we have some help maybe on the text? That would be really good.
Yes, I can help out to the extent that I can.
All right. You are also on Telegram, right? Then I can.
Yes, that's right.
Then I can give you a PM. Okay, good. I see a couple of more people are joining. Stan, welcome to the party. You're a little bit late. I think with the time confusion, this is really every year. This is very weird. Well, thank you guys. I'm looking at a full channel here. I'm super happy. We have more than 35 people showing up on this Friday, a lovely Friday afternoon. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for joining this party for this week of the BitShares Mumble. Next week, I'm gonna already warn you, we're going to have the big block show in Munich on Thursday. We're going to have a lot of people there. So this is going to be amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to be reporting of the block show the day after. So we're going to have a lot of people, 500 people. If you are close to Munich, please come over. Please consider contact me. We have 500 people. We have 22 exhibitors. BlockPay is going to be exhibiting. Steam is going to be exhibiting. We have around 30 speakers coming up. It's going to be a lot of BitShares stuff all over the place as well. And surprisingly, it's a pretty, I would say, nerdy festival, because at the beginning I thought we're going to have a lot of corporates. We have Deloitte as one of the corporate sponsors, but at the end it is a lot of cool, real hardcore blockchain startups coming, good companies coming. Ronnie also going to be there on Thursday next week. He's going to be on the panel, so it's going to be a big party, and I wish everybody can join us. And we're going to have video production there. We're going to have everything live. So follow us, please. Also on social media, I'm going to post some stuff there. And thank you very much for joining this week, and see you around. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.